We will stuff apples with nuts and plum jam and bake them, wrapped in puff pastry. You will need 1 to 2 sheets of all butter puff pastry, 6 apples, a handful of walnuts, 3 all butter biscuits, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of plum jam. Crush 3 all butter biscuits into small pieces. Add 2 tablespoons of plum jam. Mix the biscuits with the jam. Chop up a handful of walnuts and add them to the bowl. Mix all the ingredients. You can now taste the sweet stuffing and add more jam, biscuits, or walnuts to balance the flavors. Wash the apples and remove the apple core. You could use an apple core remover tool if you have one. If not, cut off the top and the bottom first. Then, carefully remove the core, cutting through the apple a few times with a knife. Push the core out, using your fingers. Prepare the other apples in the same way. Fill the apples with the stuffing. Roll out a pastry sheet. You could cover the apple in the pastry completely. To do so, you will need to cut a piece of pastry that is large enough to cover the whole apple. Make the corners of the square meet in the middle. Close the gaps by pressing the edges of the pastry together. You could make a small decoration, such as a leaf or a heart, and put it on top. Wrap the other apples in pastry. The apples can be transferred onto a baking tray. If you don't want to cover the whole apple in pastry, make the squares smaller. Bring the corners together, making them meet in the middle. But this time, don't close the gaps by pressing the edges of the pastry together. You could decorate the top of each apple. Transfer the apples onto the baking tray. You could brush the apples with milk before putting them into the oven. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Bake the apples for about 15 minutes until the pastry puffs up and looks fully cooked. Serve the apples while they are still hot. You could serve them on their own, or with vanilla sauce, ice cream, or yogurt. The apple inside the pastry will be nicely cooked and soft now.